When I was a child, most of the girls played with dolls. They were little and cute. Yes, we had Barbie and Ken. And then there were the bigger dolls that you could dress up and you could give them names or pretend they were your babies or your children. This innocent memory was shattered by the fact that we have a law that prohibits some uses for dolls. We need a law. And those dolls are sold on many of your major websites. Let's talk about it. First, I'm Dr. Debbie Lassiter, the Executive Director and co-founder of the Convergence Resource Center, and I'm here with my colleague.
Hi, I'm Carla McKeever, co-founder and CFO for Convergence Resource Center, and welcome back to the conversation.
Today, we're going to talk about something that is very, a lot of our topics are kind of deep. But in this one, this starts with how I got interested in this. There was a report of a woman who a friend of hers told her, hey, I saw your little boy on Facebook. And she said, you didn't see my little boy on Facebook. She said, oh, yes, I did. And he was with a man. She said, no, my son has never been on Facebook with a man. And so she looks outside, makes sure her little boy is still there. And the lady says, well, there's a man right there. And it was her next door neighbor. Turns out her next door neighbor had ordered a doll, customized doll, with anatomically correct, with all of the parts and crevices that you need, that looked just like her child.
Wow.
And when he was approached by law enforcement and questioned about it, he said that he had ordered the doll so that he could act out his sexual fantasies on the doll to avoid hurting the little boy. But then he said it turned to practicing for when he would be with the little boy. How scary is that? Your next door neighbor did that and had the nerve to put pictures of him and that little doll on Facebook. So I got interested. I'm like, what is this? What is going on? And I found out that online, and I'm not going to mention the names of the organizations, but there are two organizations, and Carl will tell you about those that were called on this, and they actually removed them from their sites. But they're still on a lot of sites where you can buy a doll, a customized one if you want, just like a little child that you know. And that doll can be used however you want to use it, because it's anatomically correct, including the openings and everything. But Carla, there were a couple of places that had these dolls for sale.
Yes, it's actually Temu and Shein.
Mm-hmm.
They had, they say they didn't know that they were online.
Okay.
But they're saying that this Chinese-based place had placed them on their websites to be sold, even though they knew that they were there, but they didn't do anything until they were called on it. And yeah, until they were called on it.
Well, they got thousands of things on that website. It's possible that they didn't know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how they are monitoring what goes on, or not even thinking about it, because some people don't even think anything's wrong with that.
That's true.
That's
true.
The other half of it. But it says here in this article, it said, this is actually a couple months ago, that Temu and Shein were under increasing pressure to explain how child sex abuse dolls were sold worldwide on their multi-billion-dollar platforms.
Oh, yeah, you know it is.
Following international outrage. Once the outrage came, then Shein and Temu got it off of their websites.
But at least they took it down.
Right.
You have some American companies that is still on their websites. I'm not going to mention the names. Do your own research. But check this out. Among the sex toys inventions, the dolls continue to be the most commonly chosen toy in the industry. Have you ever thought about how many people, even within the United States, might actually own one? Well, this is what the average doll owner, like the profile of what that customer is. a heterosexual male in his 40s, white, single, has a high school diploma or higher education, works 30 hours or more per week, and is earning between $30,000 and $90,000 a year. Now, that was back in 2024 when they did this survey. You can imagine today what they might be making, right?
Right.
But see, when we think about these things, we're always thinking about this little sleazy man in a closet somewhere and nobody knows who he is. But it seems to me that the boy next door or the man next door are buying these dolls.
But to even think that you have to get a law.
Yes.
You have to have a law.
You have to have a law.
I'm just like...
So we can't say it's not happening.
It is happening.
We have a law in the state of Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
So we can't say this isn't happening.
Right.
Right?
Right. Or something we made up.
Exactly.
We didn't make this up.
We didn't make this up.
No.
What are some of the harms you think of this, Carla?
Well, the harms is that they resemble minors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they make these dolls, these life-size dolls and mannequins. And when you had said you had read where it was supposed to depict the child that lived next door, that's just awful. That's
Isn't
just out of order. I'm just like...
It's frightening that your next door neighbor could be doing that.
Right.
And that these dolls by this, as far as we know, Chinese company, can be fully customizable in how they look. And even if it's voice activated or has a voice, they can make it sound like your child thanks to AI, right?
Right. Because AI has done a lot of good things.
Yes.
But it's just like, you make the atomic bomb. It can be good to protect us, but there are so many people that want to use it for bad.
Yes.
So, and that's the same thing here. It says used by adults who have sexual attraction to children or pedophiles. So these are people that are already on the list, but they're still able to buy these things. Because I don't know how there's a law against it, but we know that these things are still happening.
Because of the money. It's because of the money.
Yeah.
You know,
it always comes back to that.
Back to the money.
Yes.
You know, but listen, now we're always looking for other words to kind of describe ourselves. So instead of being called pedophiles, right? The new word for them to normalize their behavior is called minor attracted person, or a MAP. A minor attracted person. So they can fulfill those sexual fantasies with these dolls. What are we doing? We're giving you a nice cutesy name for this deviant behavior.
We're trying to normalize it.
Exactly.
And this is something that should not ever be normalized.
That's right. That's right.
We should always question if we know of anyone or have seen anything like this.
Need to get some help.
Get some help. Send everybody over there.
But now, the fact that we have a law for it, first of all, says that enough of it was happening that it caught law enforcement's attention and the court system and the legislature, that they put a law in place. But watch this. For the first offense involving fewer than 3 child sex dolls, that's a Class I felony. Involving 3 or fewer. So they must have offenses where these folks have more than 3 dolls.
So you got like a room full?
A room full of them.
Lord have mercy.
Because the second offense for an offense having at least 3 is a Class H felony. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Can you believe that we were talking about this? Right.
No.
And then the thing about it is, if you look up the law 944.19, there's like a page and a half of all the different things they can get charged with and the levels of felony that this can happen. So they had to be so particular with what they could charge you with for having these dolls in your possession. And by the way, in the state of Wisconsin, it's illegal to have it in your possession. You can't have it sitting up in your house somewhere, the child sex dolls.
Yes.
Now keep in mind they got grown women ones.
Mm.
So the women are being victimized as well. But then they got a robot.
Yeah.
That you can actually perform your acts of intimacy with like you have a partner.
Mm.
And they say that helps them not attack other people.
Wow. That is...
I think you need to go get some help. That's what I think.
Some mental health
That's
help.
what I think.
You know, it's like, well, that's why there's so much right now in really advocating for this mental health help.
Yes.
You know, like they mentioned pedophiles, even though they're trying to give them a name where we can normalize it.
Mm-hmm.
Pedophiles and people attacking our children should never, whether they're real or if they've made them to look real, should never be normalized. And thank heaven they do have a law.
Yes.
Because we're just wilding out about everything.
We really are. I mean, can you imagine looking out the window and seeing somebody playing with a doll that looks like your kid?
Yeah, I can't. And the other thing about Shein is that they were getting ready to open a store in Paris. And the internationally, they were going to shut it down. And once they got threatened to do that, that's when they pulled it and, you know, said, you know, they don't want to do anything to break the law, you know, that they're not advocating. And, you know, they didn't realize it.
But I'm telling you, these American companies are stubborn and they're still selling them. I saw them on their site even today on one of the biggest internet sites. The biggest internet sites that you buying stuff from, you know, without mentioning any names. But I'm just saying, is one that you've all heard and you all know. And you order stuff from them all the time. But then they try to make it where, oh, well, this is what the kids need. So the kids can play with it. What kid needs to stick its fingers or whatever in orifices of a doll?
Right.
Or stick things in its mouth? Not a single one.
Right. And it's not allegedly.
Yeah, right.
Because it's something we've actually seen.
We've seen it.
We've actually seen it.
Well, that's enough to keep you up at night, isn't it?
Dish. Yes, it really is. And it's actually scary. I mean, it really is scary because to me, once you act it out, if you're doing something with a doll, to me, it makes you even want to do something with a real person. It doesn't take the place of that.
We're always pushing the envelope. We need more of a thrill.
Yes.
We need more feeling. You know? So we keep pushing that envelope. You got no guarantees that that's going to stop there. Right. Not a single one. Which is terrifying.
Very terrifying and scary, especially I have grandchildren, you know. I'm like, you know, I'd like to be protective of them as well. So I guess we just have to make ourselves more aware. Yeah. And that's why we're doing this, right? That's why we're having these little conversations so people can know about these things. We're just giving you the tip of the iceberg. You do your own investigation, your own research, and find out more of what's really going on. But I'm telling you, put your seatbelts on because it'll mess you up a little bit, right? Yeah. Right. Well, Carla, how can they keep in touch with us? They can actually keep in touch with us by going to our website, convergenceresource.org, or contacting us at crcconvergenceresource.org. Yeah. CRC, contact us at convergenceresource.org. It's like, I know that by heart, and then it's all of a sudden like, but yes, and also make sure that you tune in. Or, you know, if you go to our website, make sure you subscribe to our newsletter. Yes. It's going to be new and improving and come out monthly. And also make sure you tune into Dr. Lassiter with Triumph Rising, Mondays at 12:30, with even more interesting subjects. And we have put up on our website the past shows. So if you've missed some of the CRC conversations, you can go back and look at them, or you can check them out on our YouTube page as well. And we put little snippets out on Facebook for you now to let you know what's coming up, to make sure you get a chance to listen. And I just want to thank you so much for tuning in and having this little conversation.
The Convergence Resource Center provides comprehensive support services to women rebuilding their lives after trauma, with a focused emphasis on survivors of human trafficking and justice-involved women. Convergence Resource Center supports women on their journey of healing and restoration after trauma, with a special focus on survivors of human trafficking and women impacted by the justice system. For more information about the Convergence Resource Center and how you can get involved, visit us online at www.convergenceresource.org.